Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here. Welcome to another TV log. I'm sorry that these have kind of been few and far between this year, but a lot of stuff towards the front half of the year kind of got in the way of me watching a lot of the shows that I wanted to, but thankfully, taking time off in August gave me a chance to catch up on a lot of the shows that I missed out on, so I'm going to be talking about some over the next few days. So sorry if these all sound like old news to you guys, and I appreciate you for watching, but I did really want to watch and talk about a lot of these shows. So today we're going to be talking about the second season of Invincible. This is the continuation of the hit Amazon Prime original series based off the graphic novel of the same name. And it picks back up with Mark Grayson as the superhero Invincible, as he once again is trying to balance the life and responsibilities of being a superhero with all of the, real world struggles and baggage that comes with normal life and going to college and everything like that. And in this one, he has a lot more on his plate as he has to, sort of come to grips with all the stuff that Omni-Man did at the end of the last season and just sort of how to move forward after that. He's now working for Cecil at the GDA and has to, deal with, balancing like college and relationships while also being dragged in multiple different directions as a superhero. He has a lot more family turmoil as he has to not only comfort his, traumatized mom, but when Omni-Man comes back into his life and introduces him to his alien half-brother, that gets really complicated. And a whole host of other interpersonal drama mixed with a lot of really cool action. Now, I really liked the first season of Invincible, and I was really excited to see the second season. You can tell by how long it took me to watch it. No. But like I said, I wanted to watch it sooner, but all the videos and projects that I was working on kind of pulled me away from it. And also, with this season, they did something weird where they released it like 4 episodes at a time, and like they split the season in 2 parts. But regardless of whatever grievances I might have with this season's release schedule, I still really liked it. It brings back everything that you loved about the first season. It balances out the interpersonal like drama with all of the superhero stuff really, really well, and both are so great and so well done. Firstly, this being a superhero show and this being, an adult superhero show and an adult animated superhero show, the action is, top notch. It's so good. It's so well done. It's so like exciting and, gruesome as well. Like that was the one thing in the first season that was really like, that took a lot of people by surprise, was just how like brutal and like gory and bloody it is. And they don't skimp out on that this time around. Like there are some really rough fight scenes to watch, especially like towards the end of the season as well. It's so well done. The animation is great. It's really slick and colorful and just really well produced. And also the story this time around is also really well done. It's definitely a much like heavier season, as a lot of the characters, especially Mark and his family, kind of have to grapple with the aftermath of, what Nolan or Omni-Man did. Mark is, concerned about, becoming his father if he gets put back out in the field and everything like that, and going too far with it. Debbie is now like grappling with the fact that the last 20 years with her husband have essentially been a lie, and just basically how to move forward with that. And then even Omni-Man himself, like I said, he comes back into the picture, and he is trying to like legitimately make amends with Mark, not for any like nefarious purpose or anything like that. It's because he genuinely like feels like shit, and he sees the error of his ways. And it's like, at first he even says is like, I feel terrible. I'm supposed to be this like world conquering, alien with all these superpowers, and now I just feel all these lower beings that are supposed to be beneath me that I killed, like I feel bad about it, and it sucks, but like this is just how the situation is and everything like that. And he even tries to help in sort of the war between, the ongoing fight with the Viltrum like armies and everything like that, and helping Mark prepare for that. But it's not just Mark and his family. All the other characters get really good arcs. Some that like you wouldn't have even expected to get as much development as they did. Like Rexplode gets a lot of really great like moments of sort of development and growth as he kind of like has to deal with the fact that he's just been kind of an asshole in the past season and how he wants to be better. The continued like sort of tragic romance between Robot and Monster Girl as well, that shows back up. Even like I said, even like the most unlikely characters that you'd expect to have like sort of an emotional attachment to, Donald, one of the GDA agents, has to in a way grapple with his own, I guess, like mortality and sense of identity, because he's been, you know, resurrected, and he kind of becomes like self-aware of that and is like horrified and, you know, doesn't know if he can trust like his own like organization and everything like that. Adam Eve is back, and she is, you know, dealing with her own sort of personal issues of like, is she doing the right thing by being a superhero? She has another like really rough scene with her parents and everything like that, who are constantly like telling her that what she's doing is wrong and everything like that. We see more of Mark's school friends in this season. Amber returns, and I get the feeling that the writers this season saw all the criticism that she was getting from season 1, and were like, okay, let's make her a little bit more understanding about Mark's situation. But I do like that it's not a complete 180. Like, there is still an obvious like struggle there, and you know, it's unfortunate where it ends up, and you know, her having to constantly lie to people about where Mark is and what he's doing like when he's not there and everything like that. And then even it becomes like really like dangerous when later on in the season, when, you know, a few villains like are like threatening her safety and Mark's family's safety and everything like that, and he kind of has to make that choice of like what's right for them and everything like that. Speaking of the villains, they've kind of done away with a lot of the sort of like one-off like villain of the weeks that were in the previous season, but unfortunately, especially with all the sort of different plots going on, like, they don't get a whole lot of attention. Like, the closest thing is like the ongoing thing with the, you know, the Viltrum army that are, you know, they're pissed about Nolan abandoning his post and defecting, and, you know, they're saying like, oh, because Nolan, you know, left Earth, that task of conquering and preparing for the Viltrumite takeover now falls on Mark, and of course Mark's not going to do it. So like, there's a constant like looming threat, and there, you know, are these different forces trying to figure out how to stop them and everything like that. That's like sort of the main background one. But then we also have one by this character who is essentially kind of like Kang from the Marvel movie. He is able to travel between dimensions, and he's gathered like a bunch of different variants of himself from these different universes, and he wants to gain their knowledge about how to, you know, save all the different universes. But it goes wrong, and he has this sort of vendetta against Invincible. But then he is just kind of, he pops up randomly, but then he doesn't really show up in any meaningful fashion until the final episode, which, don't get me wrong, is a great final episode, and what it ultimately builds to is really cool and really satisfying, especially for, you know, like Mark's whole story arc and everything like that. I just kind of wish that we got more time to like build on this guy as a villain and as a character, so that like he felt like more of a looming threat, because like, honestly, by the time it got to those last couple episodes, I was starting to forget that he was even a part of this. I do really appreciate, like, not just with moments in the story, but also with like stuff in the action, that like even like after season 1 and after sort of that like bombshell ending of the first episode, that the show can still like be surprising and shocking with how just like gruesome and honestly rough to watch it can get. Like, there are some really brutal and depressing sequences in this season. But thankfully it's not a complete bummer. The show does still retain a sense of like hope and optimism and even a sense of humor. There were a lot of like scenes in the different episodes that really like had me laughing. Like there's a character Shapesmith, played by Ben Schwartz, who is he was the Martian that took the place of the astronaut that got left there, and he is trying to join the Guardians of the Globe, and he's really funny, like how just, you know, very obvious he is trying to blend in. They do a lot of really great, like, sort of meta jokes and references. Like, there's a scene where they're literally at Comic-Con, and he's talking to the creator of his favorite show, and he's talking about how long animation takes and how they cut corners to make the action look cooler, and it's literally like playing out the same way in the scene, which was really funny. And there's literally a sequence, I'm gonna spoil this because it's been out long enough, but there's a sequence where, because they can't actually use Spider-Man in the show, like, because Spider-Man had a history with Invincible in the comics, but because they can't actually use Spider-Man because he's, you know, Sony and Disney and whatever else they're doing with that character, they do basically a Spider-Man like knockoff in an alternate universe that is actually played by Josh Keaton, the guy who voiced him in, I think, Spectacular Spider-Man, I think is what it was. But yeah, that was really funny and really cool to see. So yeah, I do really like this season overall. I don't think it's perfect. Like I said, I do kind of wish the villains got more time to sort of build their threat level and make more of an impact. There are a lot of like characters and, you know, plots that don't get as much attention as they probably could have, but I do kind of get, you know, balancing all this stuff can be really tricky. And again, the whole thing with the splitting the show into 2 parts, just release it all at once. I mean, I know I can't talk because I didn't watch it as it was coming out, but like, just if you want to build more hype for it, just release it all at once. It makes more sense that way. And yeah, I am really hyped for season 3. I'm excited to see, you know, where the story goes and where all the characters end up. I'm really glad I caught up on Invincible. I'm really happy with how this season turned out. I don't know if I liked it as much as the first season, but it's still really good, really solid piece of media. Going to my ranking, I'd have to give season 2 of Invincible a 4 out of 5. And that does it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Invincible Season 2. Did you like it? Did you hate it? How does it stack up in comparison to the first season? And are you looking forward to the 3rd season whenever that might come out? Let me know all that stuff down below. I've got more videos coming real soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.